Hi everyone, my name is Kamwende. I'm part of the PI team in Melbourne, and I was asked to give just a brief biblical reflection on two of PI's core values, which is creativity and flexibility and unreached people groups. And when I was asked to speak about these two things, immediately this one passage came to mind, which is Acts 16, from verses 6 to 10, where Paul and his companions it says that they were prevented from going to Asia by the Holy Spirit. And then they try to go to Bithynia, but again, the Spirit of Jesus prevents them from going there. And so they wait in Troas. And then after we don't know how long, Paul receives a vision of a man in Macedonia saying, please come over to Macedonia and help us. And so they go. And I think that this passage is cool because it really brings together these two core values quite well. We have to remember that the whole world at this time was full of unreached people groups. There were no people that had heard the gospel before besides the disciples that Jesus had. And so everywhere that Paul and his companions were going were places that had never heard Jesus. They've never heard the gospel before. And so he gives us a good example of what it looks like to go to unreached people groups. But he and his companions, he's operating in a team, they also give us an example of what it looks like to exhibit creativity and flexibility on the mission field. And I think that what comes through beautifully in this passage is the underlying principle of this core value, which is that we are able to exhibit creativity and flexibility because we are a spirit-led people. Paul and his companions are following the Spirit the whole time. He directs or he prevents, and then he gives way, and then they go. You're seeing these dynamics, and you're not told the mechanics of exactly how it happens all the time. But we can see that Paul and his companions are certainly walking in step with the Spirit of God. And I think that this is something that is such a word for us during this season of ever-changing times where our plans are always being affected and we always having to change them because of a global pandemic that has hit this world. It's not to say that we don't make plans, but the fact that we are a spirit-led people means that we are able to hold our plans lightly, and we're able to trust the Lord of the harvest to send us to the harvest fields that he wants us to go. So in the face of closed doors, in the face of changing plans, in the face of waiting, often I think there's a lot of waiting that's happening in the world right now, we can continue to trust that God's Spirit does lead us. And when he shows us the way in which we should go, we, like Paul and his companions, should be ready to go, ready to follow his leading, ready to do the work he's given us to do.